at the Pitt 23-yard line to go.
Football at West Virginia University is more than just a game. Mountaineer football is cheerleaders and a mascot with a musket. It is filled with action on the field and reaction in the stands. Mountaineer football is a fast-running halfback with a fast-paced marching band to match. All in all, Mountaineer football means total emotional involvement for players, coaches, and a whole state full of fans. And in 1975, it was quite an experience. Number 55, Steve Dunlap, knows firsthand about the Mountaineer experience. Born in Hurricane, West Virginia, Steve later came to WVU, started for 3 years at linebacker, and lived the Mountaineer experience year-round.
When I'm at home at work, there's always some, the older people or, fans that are asking you to say, they don't look back to last season and say, they'll say, tough luck, you had a bad season. They're always pulling for you, and to me, it's gratifying just to know that they care and they know who you are, and I'm proud just to talk to anybody that's for West Virginia football.
Before the '75 season began, Dunlap heard some gloomy predictions that warned of a mediocre season at best.
Personally, I believe we could do it. Our defense was untested. Our offense was very stable. Had great athletes, but again, personally, I believe that we, would surprise people.
Dunlap was right. West Virginia became one of the surprise teams in the nation, winning 8 of its 11 regular season games in spite of the school's toughest schedule in years. It was a championship season, and it was quite an experience. There were losses. Like at Penn State, where good plays were followed by better ones that somehow turned sour. Cotton Bowl-bound Penn State cashed in on 6 turnovers and ran off to a big win. Back home, the Mountaineers were met by a sellout crowd for the annual homecoming game. Number 44, Dwayne Woods of Bluefield, scored 2 touchdowns in the first half against Tulane. But later, WVU's offensive mistakes gave Tulane field position. Yet, the Mountaineer defense nearly pulled out the game. Number 63, Ray Marshall of Clairton, Pennsylvania, who led the team in tackles, made several key stops and this great interception. Dramatic defense continued as the Mountaineers stopped the run and many of the passes. but hard hitting wasn't enough. Tulane went on to score a third quarter touchdown and a late field goal to win 16-14. West Virginia's only other loss came at cold Syracuse after the Mountaineers had already clinched their Peach Bowl bid. Syracuse jumped off to a 17-0 lead on strong, hard running and big plays. Later, Dunlap's interception ignited the Mountaineers. With 2 minutes remaining, it looked like West Virginia just might stage one of its thrilling comebacks. Number 40, Ron Lee, brought the Mountaineers to within 1 point. West Virginia's first try to win brought an interference call against Syracuse. Then came the second try. The Mountaineers said yes. The officials said no. Final score, Syracuse 20, WVU 19. Yes, West Virginia did lose 3 games in 1975, one by 2 points and one by only an inch or two. The real story of the Mountaineer experience this year was winning team football.
This year, to me, we just try to stick together. Our teams, we're big believers in togetherness and achievement for all, things like that. And when we were down, we had confidence that we could do it.
Against Temple, West Virginia did it big. First, they did it with offense. Then the Mountaineers did it with defense. Number 22, Tom Pridemore of Ansted, West Virginia. Then number 15, Chuck Braswell from Clairton, Pennsylvania. Then Pridemore again. In the end, number 89, Bubba Coker, made it look easy. Rated 19th in the nation, the Mountaineers traveled to the San Francisco Bay Area to meet the University of California at Berkeley. The Bears, who later upset Southern Cal, boasted of their All-American runner, Chuck Muncie. But the running back of the day was WVU fullback Haywood Smith from Dunbar, West Virginia, who ran for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns at Cal. Number 40, fullback Ron Lee of Belair, Ohio, scored a touchdown and helped establish the inside running game, too. Then Mr. Outside, Artie Owens of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, took over. Number 2, sophomore quarterback Dan Kendra directed a Mountaineer attack that gained 427 yards against Cal. Passes to number 12, Tom Bowden, and number 84, Scott McDonald, helped West Virginia to the final 28-10 victory. The Mountaineers climbed higher in the national rankings after the defense stopped Boston College and the WVU Veer offense took charge. Even the fumble became an offensive weapon. Pursued by number 33, Steve Lewis of Hurricane, turned this great run by Woods into a touchdown. At halftime, the Mountaineers led 21-3 against a BC team that had just given Notre Dame a scare on national television. When Boston College tried to shut off the outside game in the second half, quarterback Dan Kendra optioned to run and pass himself. Lee scored his 3rd touchdown of the day. Woods ran off 2 quick openers, and middle guard Ken Culbertson made sure that West Virginia had stopped yet another top Eastern opponent. The setting was the Texas State Fair. The site was the famed Cotton Bowl at Dallas. The opponent was Southern Methodist University. And it took a big play defense to keep West Virginia close in the first half. Mountaineers came to life on runs by Woods and Owens, and by Woods again. They ran off with a 28-22 win. Owens rushed for 171 yards against SMU for his best single-game performance ever. Sports Illustrated and UPI named him as their back of the week. But for Mountaineer fans, number 24, Artie Owens, was someone special throughout the Mountaineer experience of 1975. College football at West Virginia includes great players like Artie Owens. But there's more. There's a special feeling that becomes part of life in the state and a special part of life on the campus. It takes a special feeling to develop the fans that West Virginia had in 1975. Fans that welcomed defense as a household word. Fans that cheered on the Mountaineers to a 10-7 win over Virginia Tech on a day when the name of the game was defense. Thrilling offense is another characteristic of the Mountaineer experience. When West Virginia defeated Kent State 38-13 for the 6th win of the year, WVU fans saw Artie Owens become the school's top career rusher on this play. In 4 years, Artie rushed for 2,648 yards, almost a mile and a half. And the bands were on hand to help celebrate. Thousands of high school bandsmen joined the Mountaineers for the annual extravaganza. Passing musicians gave way to passing athletes as West Virginia scored 36 second-half points. Chuck Braswell and Tom Pridemore even caught some Kent State passes. Then the show went on. Another key Mountaineer victory came at Richmond. West Virginia raced off to a 24-0 lead. And as usual, it was anything but a one-man show. There was linebacker Steve Dunlap. There was Kendra and McDonald. Ron Lee. Wayne Woods. There was Paul Lumley. Danny Williams and Lumley again. And Haywood Smith. And as the Mountaineers fought off a Richmond rally, the list of stars went on and on. Defensive back Tom Pridemore. Kendra and Bowden. Eventually, those many Mountaineers saw the victories blend into one of the greatest seasons in West Virginia history. 8 thrilling victories had won a Peach Bowl bid and one more chance to experience that special feeling that accompanies Mountaineer football. West Virginians made new friends and renewed old friendships as the Mountaineer spirit engulfed WVU headquarters and then spread throughout the city of Atlanta. The emotion peaked on New Year's Eve afternoon when West Virginia met North Carolina State for the championship. West Virginia's famed running game started fast. But it was the Wolfpack who scored first after a 73-yard drive. The Mountaineer defense fought back, led by number 63, Ray Marshall. Then West Virginia began to warm up. With 50 seconds left in the first half, NC State took a 13-0 lead on this field goal. 38 seconds remained. Kendra passed to McDonald for 7 yards. NC State was penalized. "20 seconds left. Kendra spotted McDonald again. "4 seconds to go. Time enough for a Mountaineer miracle. Touchdown, Artie Owens. Halftime score, NC State. And suddenly, West Virginia 6. After intermission, the two teams exchanged punts. Then Jack Eastwood recovered a fumble, and the Mountaineers moved again. Kendra the passer became Kendra the runner. Then he threw to Bowden for 10. Two great runs took the ball to the 6-yard line. Then a fumble. West Virginia's defense held. Then came 5 plays that Mountaineer fans will replay and recall for years. Touchdown McDonald, extra point McKenzie, the lead for West Virginia. Mountaineer fans called out for defense. The call was answered. First by the game's outstanding defensive player, Ray Marshall. Then by Rich Lukowski. And finally by sophomore Tom Pridemore. West Virginia preserved the lead that former basketball star Scott McDonald had provided on this dramatic 50-yard touchdown. It was a memorable moment. New Mountaineer head coach Frank Signetti suggests that West Virginians can expect to experience many more thrills.
My goal here as the head football coach is to see that this program will remain on its present competitive level and strive to improve it. We need the total support of the state, the fans, and the alumni to put this program where it should be and to be sure that we maintain the success here. We can do it if we'll do it together.
Like many fans, Signetti recalls the many memorable moments of 1975. The victories, the spectacular efforts of Artie Owens, the hard-hitting West Virginia defense. But perhaps more than anything else, this year's West Virginia-Pitt game will be best remembered. It showed what the Mountaineer experience is all about.
From Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, this is Jack Fleming along with Woody O'Hara. West Virginia University football, 1975. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A jam-packed house for the West Virginia-Pitt game on the campus of West Virginia University. Well, we're going to have excitement. This ball game was sold out September 19, and everyone is here today for what could be a very, very exciting football contest. And here come the West Virginia Mountaineers.
The stage was set. ABC announcers Keith Jackson, Bud Wilkinson, Bill Fleming, and Jim Lampley were ready to telecast the game to millions of viewers. A whole state full of West Virginians were ready too.
Well, hundreds of balloons, gold and blue, of course, have been released high over the stadium and are drifting off to the northwest. And this crowd is really at a fever pitch for this afternoon's ball game. Many say it'll boil down to the kicking game. A late mistake, a late field goal could win it.
The first half was a defensive masterpiece. But as the game progressed, there were brief offensive explosions that warned of a tremendous finish. The fireworks started with the second half kickoff. Then Danny Williams passed to tight end Bubba Coker. Ron Lee took the Mountaineers close, and then Pitt tied the game on this catch by Gordon Jones. West Virginia came back.
Williams giving it to Artie Owens, the hole in the middle. Owens breaks it back. Over a West Virginia touchdown. How about that? Artie Owens found the hole through the middle, ran through the secondary, got away from everybody, galloped 23 yards for a touchdown, and the Mountaineers go on the board with another big one. King Arthur has scored one for the Mountaineers.
The Mountaineer defense made great plays like Marshall's tackle against Dorset. But later, Pitt tied the game on a short pass. Steve Dunlap intercepted to give West Virginia another chance. But that chance faded with this fumble. Then came the dramatics.
Kavanaugh gives it to Dorset, and he is corralled beautifully. Hit by Rich Lukowski at the 16-yard line. Tony Dorset did not reach the line of scrimmage. Clock turning 45 seconds. Kavanaugh back. Kavanaugh throwing to the near sideline. Caught at the 20 and carried out of bounds by Gordon Jones, the split end. 31 seconds on the scoreboard clock in a 14-14 ball game. Kavanaugh fakes. Fires complete to the 25-yard line to the tight end, Jim Corbett. And he goes down and is covered at the 25-yard line. And Larry Swider stands in his end zone. 18 seconds to go in a tie ball game. He'll have to punt it. Mark Burke is downfield. There's the snap to Swider. He gets it away. Wobbly. Burke at the Pitt 47 is caught and thrown. And West Virginia takes time with 10 seconds. Boy, this game has been something else. Absolutely something else. Here's Kendra making the draw to Owens and now throwing the bomb. There's an open man. Swinson on the far side. He's got it out of bounds on the far side of the field at the Pitt 23-yard line. 4 seconds to go. Randy Swinson got the football, went out of bounds on the play, lost control of it out of bounds. It is a completed pass to the Pitt 22.5-yard line. 4 seconds on a stop clock. Holy mackerel, can you believe this? Bill McKenzie is on. He is 2 for 5 in field goal. From the 28, it will be a 38-yard attempt. The snap, McKenzie kicks it. It is long enough. McKenzie kicks it. It is good. The ball game is over. McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal in the final play of the football game. There's a mob scene out on the field. The Mountaineer fans, what a mob scene. You haven't seen anything like it. Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game. West Virginia moving the ball down to the Pitt 22.5-yard line on a pass to Randy Swinson. And then the field goal try by McKenzie. I can't believe it. McKenzie, the sophomore from Warwood, with the biggest kick of his young career.
So the Mountaineers had beaten Sun Bowl champion Pitt. But it was more than a simple victory. It showed again the enthusiasm of a state for its #1 football team. West Virginia football. Call it exciting. Call it thrilling. Call it special and unique and one of a kind. Call it the Mountaineer experience.